Well, I looked over your lesson, and I had a couple of questions that I wanted to ask you. I'm kind of worried about the assessment that he's doing because I know with him being new to the school and not knowing the English language very well, I didn't want to confuse him all because, I mean, if you're I know the Smartboard is a really good tool to use, and I wrote, because you're talking about birds and penguins, I thought, do pictures of birds and penguins, and you're kind of throwing that at him, the words, and that's going to be hard for him.
And
I
that's
think.
also one of his accommodations is having visuals, so being able to make connections by seeing the pictures on the Smartboard with the English word and hearing it out loud will help him make that connection.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to do this, but the uppercase and the lowercase, showing him that too, and telling him this is I don't know, that's something that you could think about, and I did it on this page. Another thing that I thought was bringing his language into the lesson to make him feel more confident about what you're talking about. And I went online and I picked up the Arabic word of penguin and bird, and I pasted that on this page.
And so that's really helpful because, going through this class and researching methods and techniques that we've learned, they all keep saying that having him and allowing him to use his native language and seeing his native language will help him make the connection to the skills he needs to understand English. So I really like this.
And then I also thought this is something that the other kids can learn too, that he doesn't know their language, and show him. We have an alphabet, and show him the English alphabet, let him see the upper and the lowercase, and then even showing your regular, your English-speaking students the Arabic and how that is totally different. I think that's a good lesson.
Right.
And I think it would, create that bond with the students.
Put his culture into the classroom.
Right. I think that's important. One other thing, I know you were talking about comparing and contrasting birds and penguins and trying to, what can birds do that penguins can't do, or what can penguins do that birds can't do. I put this T-chart up there. I don't know if you want to use that, but that's something that you could do.
And then use the markers, and we can write what adjectives or things that birds can do, what are things that penguins can do, and try and find what's the one thing that penguins can't do. Because she had a lot of misconceptions on the reasoning behind it.
And after talking to some other teachers that have worked with English as a second language students, the more pictures that you show, the better that they will get it. Showing him more pictures of the penguins and putting that word with it will help them.
Right.
But I did that on a couple other slides on here that I was looking at. Skeletons, I put that swimming because we had, I think the first page was showing the penguin swimming. Wasn't it? Yeah, there it is. And then the flying, the bird. So I was trying to find that, because you were talking about the bones, which one's the bird, which one's the penguin, so he can place that.
Why do birds have those hollow bones that make them allowed to fly?
And you can move these words too, so you can not just have him, maybe you can get him to do one example and one of your English-speaking students to do the other, and show him. Use that role model. And then the directions. I know the directions might be difficult, but just kind of say, this is the paper, and we're going to roll it up.
And that'll be helpful as well, instead of, because I think during the lesson she was already stating the questions out loud to the class, and one of his accommodations is clarifying directions, reading him the directions, and along with the visuals too, but having the visuals up on the Smartboard, maybe pointing to them as she's stating the directions, doing one direction at a time, so you're all going to get a piece of paper. Next, we're going to roll the paper up, staple the bottom, and we're going to staple one of them so it's a hollow bone, there's nothing inside. The other one we're pouring rice into.
And that's with the pictures. I thought, showing, this is hollow in here and this is solid, and the bones, the bones of the penguin and the bird. So that kind of, helps him with there. And then dropping it. It was hard to find. But slow and fast. You could get more pictures even. I didn't get that much on here, but like this picture is good up here. How that's solid. This one might even be a better one. And just kind of. And then that's another thing that you could do. Which one moved fast? Which one moved slow?
And then, since our main question is, why does which bone fall to the ground first? Because that one is.
Oh, and I don't know if you know how to do this. Let me show you how to do this. Let's see. Here's a good one. This is going to be big. I'm going to make it small. Oh boy, now I lost it. Okay. What was I going to tell you? I think just creating those boxes.
Giving him more visuals too.
Which one, and he can move it. This one went faster. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. The pictures of the bones. Do you see this camera? Like, these were hard to find, but you can, this camera allows you to, like, outline, like the solid bone, and take a picture of it. And so you can cut and paste that.
Okay, that's
and
cool.
then you could put that on that one page. Oh, where is it? Here. You could even, like this would be the, I don't know, you could.
The field bone, and which one, and he can move the picture slow and fast, which one moves slower, which one moves faster.
You could do that. And then the assessment, I was worried about the assessment, just giving him double concepts to be assessed on. So I know we're throwing a lot of words at him. So,
yeah, looking back at it, I think it might be too heavy in the vocabulary, especially with her taking time and reading it out loud.
But he could do an alternate assessment. If you're throwing bird at him and penguin at him, what is that? And then the solid and hollow, give him that.
And even one of his assessment accommodations is giving an oral answer instead of written, so even if a teacher does this with him, he can even just tell her, so that picture is a bird or a penguin, he can say penguin, or is that bone hollow or solid, and be able to give his answers orally instead of having to take the written assessment that the class had to take.
I'm just worried about his frustration level, and what you don't want to ask him too much. And then here's another one with pictures, and you can move this like the one here.
Oh, that's cool.
That's an activity that you could do.
And other students can come up and do that as well too. Dragging the vocabulary words into the boxes for the visual.
And with this all being new to him, the English language, I think another assessment that you could probably do, and maybe it could be not a formative, but like some, yes, something like that. You could do that. Just have him write the word penguin and bird on one of those notebooks. You can find a notebook page and kind of do dot to dot, because that's all new to him too. He doesn't know how to learn those. He hasn't been taught how to write those words. So
maybe it'd also be good for him to have like a science vocabulary book, especially for this unit. It might have a lot of key vocab terms that he might have trouble making the connections with. So he has this booklet that has a visual on it, and then it has the English and Arabic words in it.
Yes,
that way he can always go back to look at his native language, but still seeing English. That'll help him.
And even letting him do these these little activities. Let's create a picture of and get on the internet with him. You could do that. I mean, they like looking at images and stuff. But I think that's all that I have for you.
Was there
That's what I
anything
thought.
else you noticed in the lesson that you think I need to modify for him? I know the teacher restated questions, wrote directions on the board, but I think, allowing the smartboard to have visuals for him as she's doing the directions for the experiment would definitely help.
And another thing that I was thinking of when he was going to get in the small groups, because they were going to get into small groups at one point, were they?
Yes, after the experiment, they were going to discuss with their peers.
And I think this would be a perfect time, just one-on-one with the teacher, instead of being with a small group. Just go over words and, kind of show him how to write the word penguin. I think that one-on-one time is important.
Okay,
That's,
or maybe match him with one higher level student that would
right,
be able to
that's another thing you could do. Yeah. That, and the assessment, I was just kind of worried about the assessment for him. I just didn't want him to be overwhelmed, because I know there's that frustration.
Right, and this allows me, I was having trouble finding ways that for this lesson to incorporate technology, because the teacher didn't use any technology in this lesson with her all English speaking students. And so my only thing was, she had a lot of misconceptions about what can birds do that penguins can't. So my thing was just letting them watch a short video. But I like allowing them to use the smartboard to drag those pictures across.
And it's kind of static too, getting up and moving around and touching the board and stuff. I think that's good. I love that smartboard.
Yes.
Can do a lot of things.
Well, this is very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me know if I can do anything else.
Thank you.
Okay.